Well, and this is the patch. It's a developed patch direction from the last video. So I have added the second, no, more than just a second or 2 second voices. I've just added a second moment, and this moment is made by these modules here above, on the right side. We have 2 voices. Both are generated by an LFO-VCA quantum, a quantizer, and laser combination. One voice, let me just mute this one here. So from time to time we will hear now the new voices. One voice is made by longer notes, only a few longer notes, and I sent them through an effect combination here. It's not important now for our purposes to know the details here. We could have used anything. And the other voice brings more longer notes, shorter notes, a succession of shorter notes. So I have only C and G as long notes, and C sharp, G and G sharp as faster, shorter notes going on. So how happens the jump between these two moments? These, let's say, larger one here, as what we know already from the last video, and this, let's say, shorter one. It happens by using an additional mixer, and 2 additional mixers. In fact, you will see this. And in mixer 1 here, this first additional mixer on the left side above, I mix CV. I mix the CV coming from this the LFO here, which sends a square wave, and coming from this LFO here, which sends a sine wave. And the mixture of both goes to these channels, which are inhabited by the voices from the video before. And this means that the square wave wants to mute the voices, all voices, but there is also a sine wave which adds to this 0 level of the square wave coming from here. Zero level means they are muted, and it's the sine wave adds to it. So they are never always completely muted, but when the square wave coming from this LFO here has its negative level, its low level, then the sine wave makes these voices step in, fade in from time to time according to the frequency of this LFO and the sine wave. So, well, this is this additional mixer, and the LFO, the square wave LFO, sends its signal not only to this mixer, which modulates the mixer channels of the old 7 voices, of the, let's say, the spline moment, but it sends it also to an inverter, and the inverted signal goes to this mixer here. And in this mixer we have the output of these 7 old voices sent through a plateau. On one hand, and on the other hand, we have these 2 new voices. So always when this LFO here, the square wave of this LFO, has a high, so that these old voices here down are active, then the inverted signal is low, and the new voices here, the new moment here, is muted. And when this LFO has a low, and only the sine wave of this LFO makes these voices step in from time to time, then the inverted signal of the LFO opens the mixer channel for the new voices. Meaning, when I have the spline moment, and I'd called it in the book, my spline moment, only this spline moment voices are heard. But when I have this moment, sonic moment, where I jump to, then from time to time, like pale memories, the sounds from the spline moment are faded in and faded out. Let's listen to it for a while before I have to say something more. Oh, so I have, of course, to unmute the sources. All right, so in real life, of course, both moments are played longer and with variations, but here for purposes of explaining the system, the principle, it's okay this way. Let's say the bang at the end of the moment one playing alone is of course caused by the plateau reverb when the low level of this LFO switches the input of plateau suddenly off. This voice, this new moment, the two voices of this new moment, not the spline moment, are without any reverb. Now I could, of course, adjust the volume of, for example, the volume of this pale memories fading in when this additional moment is playing. I could do this by increasing here the mixer channel of the sine wave LFO. Now you see, and here, now it's, these memories are louder. And now they are more silent, more even paler. Well, okay, I think it's getting clear. You've got it, what this principle means, and let's go ahead now.